Hi everyone, Raquel here from scrapcosy. Today's card is a very simple one that I made using one of the stamps that I designed for PaPerArtsy on January 2021. Check out the links on the screen right now and on the video description if you want to get any of these. On that same release, I also designed these coordinating stencils, but today I'll use ESC22, the stamp set with the birds and the spring flowers, to create this sympathy card. Okay, let's get started. I love the stamp set. The birds can kiss, can you see that? Well, I'm going to stamp everything using VersaFine Clear Pinecone ink. This is waterproof, so it will make sure that once I color my images using some water-based medium, they don't smear. So I'm going to stamp my birds and then some flowers. And I'm using that brown color, which I love because I'm going for a vintage look. And basically I will cover all the surface with everything that I want to color in. And what I will use for coloring is basically some infusions. You may have seen me doing this in the past. I mix this with satin glaze, which is a water-based medium. It's like a varnish, so it's like a glue that it's very, very light, so it doesn't stick basically, but it's to extend your paints. So if you have an opaque paint, and this is satin glaze, basically you can mix it with this and then you make it more translucent. But instead of paint, you can also use it with infusions, and then basically you're creating with that your own translucent paint. And in this case I'm using some of the Sunset Beach, yeah, the reddish one, and then I'm coloring like the centers of the flowers, and I mix it very, very lightly. You don't want a lot of infusions, you just want a tiny bit, and then mix with the satin glaze you will get a very nice and vintage color, because a part of the powders that the infusions have, they have like different colors. They also have walnut crystals, which then dissolved very, very thoroughly. If you dissolve them very, very well, they will add like a brownish touch to your color. Okay, and now I'm mixing a little bit more infusions with, more glaze to make them even less dark. I'm going to basically paint the flowers a little bit more whitish. Okay, and now I'm making it more intense, the color. So I'm applying again infusions, and then I'm mixing it with a little less of satin glaze, and I'm basically coloring those robins, and I'm doing the chest in a deep red color. And now I'm going to mix a different color. This one is going to be the green, so I've picked olive tree. I love that green, and again I'm mixing it very, very well with some satin glaze, and then everything, all the powders are going to dissolve, and I'm going to paint all their leaves and everything that is green in the card. I work one color at a time, because then I don't need to basically clean the brush in between, every time that I color something, so I just clean in between different colors. So now I'm with the green, basically. Sometimes I forget to paint something and I need to either mix something else or just hope that my table is not dry and I can pick some of that leftover paint again. But if not, you can always mix it back and make your own translucent paint again. And now I'm adding some touches of yellow. I'm using golden sands, and I'm adding it on the body of the birds. This one perhaps is a bit too dark for my taste. If I repeated the card, I will make it a bit less intense. And now I'm adding some sort of blue on top of the robin. I was basically using a tin that I bought from Marks and Spencer. I think it had some shortbread or something inside, and it had a robin in the lid. So I'm just trying to copy and mimic that color. Now I'm mixing infusions with just water, and I'm applying it on top. And this is just to create a wash, and I'm adding some droplets there. And it's to add some texture on my background. Initially I envisaged this card to be the background to be very, very dark, but I started with one layer and I really like that tone, so I decided to just keep it this light. But my original idea was to cover it with a lot of infusions, and then that is why I was adding the glaze as well, to protect my images, because they you make them waterproof as well. So you can, I mean, you will keep the colors if you just use the glaze with them, and if you add later on like a wash it, as I did, then basically the colors stay as they are, right? Now I'm creating a base for my card, and I'm just selecting 2 bases, so I'm doing them at once, but basically I'm just adding the edges of a slightly bigger card, and I'm painting it with some fresco paint. This one is French Roast, so I will frame it like this, and then I'll also put the thinking of you like that. So I'm going to frame both the sentiment and the card with that, and then I'm just going to mount it as is, and that's it really. So this is a really simple card. If you didn't want to, you don't have the satin glaze, you can always mix infusions with water and just watercolor them. So instead of mixing and creating your paint, you would just watercolor your images and they would look lovely as well. So I'm just assembling everything together, and this is basically done. I hope you like it, and I hope you give it a try. Even if it's not with glaze, you can try it with water. Okay, now here I'm just trimming to make everything a little bit even, because I think it was not perfectly framed, and also because I wanted like a thinner frame. Sometimes I prefer thinner rather than thicker. So that's it. Now it's truly done. And this is all. I hope you like it. Thanks very much for watching. If this is your first time watching my channel, maybe you want to subscribe and click the ring bell button so you don't miss any of my new videos. I try to do once a week now if I can, so I hope to see you next week, and I hope you are safe. Thanks very much for watching. I'll hope to read your comments. I love to read them all and answer when I have a time, and they really make my day. So I'm really happy to have you there. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!